Breaking news tonight from the Black Sea. A Russian missile strikes a port in Ukraine, but moments later, shocking details emerge. The ship that catches fire. The ship that takes damage. The ship suddenly at the center of global attention is Turkish, not Ukrainian, not Russian, Turkish. And now the question echoing across diplomatic corridors, military briefings, and international newsrooms is simple but dangerous. Did Russia just cross a line with Turkey? Is this just another strike in the Ukraine war, the beginning of something far bigger? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is not rumor, not speculation, but verified facts, confirmed reactions, and the real reason the world is watching the Black Sea tonight. Let's slow this down, because accuracy matters. In the early hours of the attack, Russian forces launched missiles and drones targeting port infrastructure in southern Ukraine. The location? The Odessa region. Specifically, the port of Chornomorsk, a key hub for maritime trade in the Black Sea. This port has already been targeted multiple times since the collapse of the Black Sea grain deal. But this time, something was different. Among the vessels docked at the port was a commercial cargo ship owned by a Turkish company. During the strike, the ship was hit, causing fire and structural damage. Ukrainian authorities confirmed the vessel was civilian, not military. Turkey later confirmed that the ship belonged to a Turkish operator and that no crew members were killed. But the message was clear. A NATO country's commercial ship had just been damaged in a Russian strike. And that instantly escalated international concern. Let us be very clear, and this is critical. This was not a direct Russian attack on Turkey's territory. This was not a declaration of war. The ship was located inside Ukraine, docked at a Ukrainian port. Russia was striking Ukrainian infrastructure, not Turkey itself. However, when a civilian vessel owned by a foreign NATO country is hit, the consequences are no longer local. They are international. Russia has attacked Ukrainian ports before. Ships have been damaged before. So why is this incident exploding across global headlines? Because Turkey is not just any country. Turkey is a NATO member, a Black Sea power, a key mediator between Russia and Ukraine, and a country that has tried to maintain balanced relations with Moscow. This strike puts Turkey in an extremely uncomfortable position. Not politically, strategically. Turkey's response was calm but firm. Officials confirmed the damage and expressed deep concern over attacks on civilian shipping. Turkey warned that strikes on ports and commercial vessels threaten regional stability, maritime safety, and international trade routes. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan raised the issue directly through diplomatic channels, urging restraint and protection for civilian infrastructure. Turkey did not accuse Russia of targeting Turkey deliberately, but it sent a clear message. The Black Sea must not become a zone where civilian ships are treated as expendable. To understand the seriousness of this incident, you need to understand the Black Sea. This is not just water. The Black Sea is a global trade artery, a food supply route, an energy corridor, and a military flashpoint. Turkey controls access to the Black Sea through the Bosphorus Strait. That gives Ankara enormous strategic leverage. Any instability here affects Europe, the Middle East, Russia, NATO, and global food markets. This is why even a single damaged ship sends shockwaves. So, what do we know about the ship itself? The vessel was a commercial cargo ship, reportedly carrying food supplies. It was not armed, it was not military, was not transporting weapons. The damage occurred while the ship was docked, not sailing. A fire broke out after the strike, but emergency response prevented a total loss. And most importantly, no Turkish sailors were killed. But the symbolism of the event was explosive. Ukraine confirmed the attack and emphasized that the ship was civilian. Ukrainian officials accused Russia of targeting port infrastructure, endangering international shipping, and ignoring global maritime norms. Kyiv warned that Russia's actions are making the Black Sea unsafe, not just for Ukraine, but for everyone. Russia has not officially commented in detail on the specific ship. However, Moscow maintains that its strikes target Ukrainian military and infrastructure, that any damage to foreign vessels is incidental. And that responsibility lies with Ukraine for allowing its ports to operate in war zones. This is a familiar Russian position, but it does not ease concerns in Ankara or Brussels. This is why NATO is watching very closely. Turkey is a NATO member, but it also has deep economic ties with Russia, has avoided sanctions, and has acted as a mediator. This incident tests that very delicate balance. NATO does not want escalation. Russia does not want another front. So, is this a turning point? Right now, the answer is not yet. But it is a warning. It shows how quickly the Ukraine war can spill beyond its borders. It shows how civilian trade is increasingly at risk. And it shows how one missile, even if its specific target was not the ship itself, can drag new actors into the spotlight. This speaks to a bigger picture. Modern wars are no longer confined to battlefields. They affect shipping, food supplies, energy markets, and diplomatic alliances. This strike did not hit a tank. It hit commerce. And commerce connects nations. Now you might think, why does this matter to me? Even if you live far from the Black Sea, this matters. Because when shipping lanes become unsafe, prices rise, supplies shrink, and markets panic. The Black Sea is essential for grain exports, energy transit, and global trade. Instability here affects everyone's cost of living. What happens next? In the short term, we can expect more diplomatic engagement, increased monitoring of the Black Sea, and international pressure to protect civilian shipping. In the long term, we could see more militarization of ports, higher insurance costs for ships sailing in the region, and increased global tension. The risk is not an immediate war between Russia and Turkey. The risk is a slow, grinding escalation that makes the world a more dangerous and more expensive place. This was not a declaration of war. This was not a direct attack on Turkey. But it was a reminder, a sharp one, that wars don't stay contained. A single strike can ripple across continents. And tonight, the Black Sea stands at the center of global attention. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. It does not promote violence, hatred, or misinformation. All information presented is based on publicly available reports from credible international sources. If you want calm, factual analysis of global events without hype, without propagandists, subscribe to the channel. Because in a world full of noise, truth matters more than ever.